What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Musa Gaming here, and today I'm back with another weekly updates on my Project Vortex account. And as you guys can see, yeah, we won the Pass 6 opening on both sides. This side is actually against Kingdom 3949, as well as this side over here is actually against Kingdom 3951. So yeah, we have secured a lot of different Holy Site buffs, as you guys can see. Yeah, those the level 6 and level 5 Holy Sites actually gives you a lot of attack and defense buff, which is actually really good because those would actually come in really handy when you go into the Kingsland. And yeah, I think this side as well, yeah, we're controlling, or we're planning to control every single one of those as well, which are really good. So with that said, let's just go ahead and get started on the account itself. So this account is VIP 14, 110 days into this account, and have I think and then have about like 20 million power, 20 million kill points. Not a lot, not a whole lot, to be really honest with you. I wasn't able to participate in a lot of the fights because I think the majority of the fights that I was part of, which was against Kingdom 3951, actually ended pretty early, and we weren't really able to get into ball fights, unfortunately. So yeah, that's where I'm at in terms of where we are. Although we will have Pass 7 opening in, I would say, 2 days and a half. Yeah, because this actually is like gonna happen in 2 days, and then this actually opens in 12 hours after this chronicle is actually done. So we have Pass 7 opening. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with KVK1 anymore, yeah, if Pass 7 opening doesn't really mean that we will be able to actually build around it, and then the kings that would actually start right there and then. But instead, we will actually be fighting over those altars for this KVK1, right? Those altars will give you a lot of honor points. So it'll be more or less of an altar fight than anything else. So yeah, there's not gonna be a crazy KVK determining victory over there. But after 2 days has passed thereafter, as well as 2 days and a half, yeah, the Altar of Darkness is when Altar of Darkness does open. That's when we're gonna have a little bit of I would say, more fight against our enemies in the Kingsland, where you'll be able to kind of compete over the altars, which is good. If you actually get altars, you'll be able to get a lot of honor points here and there. So yeah, that will be really helpful when you actually reach towards the end of the KVK goals for the alliance honor points and all that stuff. So yeah, Altar of Darkness will open, so there will be a little bit of fight in probably like 5 days or so in time, and then from there onward, there's going to be another like 5 days and a half that would actually take place when the Kingsland restrictions are lifted, which is when the like actual seasonal conquest like Kingsland would actually happen, which is going to be in about a week or so. So yeah, we still got some time until we have the actual really big fight that's gonna happen. That's gonna determine who's gonna be the winning the KVK at the end of the day. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So far, we're doing pretty well. We're currently free for all against 51 as well as 49 at the very moment. I don't know how the politics or the diplomatics would actually go from here onward. I don't really want to share too much because I don't want to be that person who ruins the diplomatic stuff. But so far, yeah, we're going free for all at the very moment. So hopefully, when we get into Ziggurat, we'll be able to actually be the one kingdom that will hold the Ziggurat at the end of the day. That's all I can say, right? Because at the end of the day, this is KVK1, right? We don't really know how things are gonna work out at the end of the day. So that's basically where we're at. In terms of my own account, as you guys can see, I have been preparing for this event right here, which is actually the Esmeralda's Prayer. Hopefully, if I actually get this finished up all the way, which I hope I can do without spending more money on this, right? If I actually do that, I think I'll have enough materials for me to actually max out the Hope Cloak, which I do have the blueprint of, right? So if I get that, then hopefully I'll be able to almost finish up my Sun Tzu YSG's equipment at the end of the day, right? Obviously, I'll need to get my hands on Gatekeeper Shield, kind of changing it to Eternal Empire Shield. But if I have this one swapped out and then Hope Cloak swapped out, the Windswept Breastplate swapped out to Hope Cloak, then I'm actually pretty much done with my Sun Tzu's equipment, right? So, yeah, so that's what I'm actually looking at for this upcoming week. Again, Pass 7 opening as well as hopefully Hope Cloak crafting. Now we will probably have. Right now we have what? What's this event? The Esmeralda's house event actually going on, but I am hoping that we'll be able to have like egg event or the dig event happening on the Thursday of this week, because that's most likely when that's going to happen. So that I can actually get myself the infantry set equipment, set weapon for me to actually craft, so that I'll be able to have almost complete Sun Tzu at the end of the day. But we'll see how we actually go about that. Once I'm done with that though, I'll go ahead and try to focus my gems into getting more of those castles, the Book of Covenant, so that I can level up my castles a lot better. But right now, obviously, I still need like 5 extra levels that I need to focus on. That means like what, at the very minimum, I'll need about like 200,000 gems that I'll need to put into upgrading my castle. So I still got a long way to go until I do hit that castle level 25, and then, you know, eventually that will lead me to upgrade my academy to level 25. But, you know, castle level 25 is just 1 foot into the way for me to leveling up academy level 25, and then hence that actually allows me to get to T5, because yeah, it requires you to like hit the trading post at level 25. It requires you to get like the gold mine quarry and all those stuff, the nitty-gritty stuff, into level 25 until I actually get myself the academy level 25 that is required for me to finish up my technology. So yeah, that's still a long way that is out for this account. You know, we'll hope that we actually see more gold chest drop in the alliance shop, so that actually alliance chest gives stuff, so that I don't really have to work and spend too much money on it, is what I'm hoping for. But that's where we're at. In terms of academy, as you guys can see, I'm currently working on the basic text for the war. You know, you guys can see that I do have the econ tree that is maxed out for building and research speed up, so that I have the maximum efficiency that is actually possible for this account. Also, at the same time, I did finish the small 3 as well as cartography, so that I have the maximum amount of march speed that is possible from the technology. And right now, I'm working on getting as much of health that is possible on this account, so that I can trade the best on the field when I do get out. Obviously, I did level up Wood Steel as well as Scrutum, so that I don't really have too much kind of speed ups go in without actually gaining too much of the health percentage or whatever. But yeah, health is the most valuable stat in the game, so hence I'm focusing a little bit more on the health side for me to actually level up at the end of the day. In terms of the Daybreak trials, you guys can see that I am at stage 260 right now. I can't break 260 yet, but I am very close to finishing up the Daybreak trials at the moment. So yeah, hopefully soon enough I'll be able to actually finish this to stage 300, so that I can get the extra 10 blueprint fragment choice chests for the pens. Right now, I think the last reward that I got was the one from the 50th, yeah, 250th floor, which was really good, right? Which was really good. Which I think where I got the 7 blueprint fragment choice chests from that. Yeah, and the only thing that is left that is really important is the last place, the last floor reward for this Daybreak trial. So hopefully I'll be able to actually get to it without spending more money on this at the end of the day too. All right, with that said, let's just go ahead and take a look at what we have in terms of commanders. As you guys saw, you know, I'm currently working on Pierce from the dailies. And I'm currently having Pierce leveled up to 5552, and I'm collecting gold heads, and I'm actually accumulating gold head, so that when we get to KVK 2 and when we see CJ, I'll be able to expertise it right away, so I can have Pierce as CJ ready to actually swap to a different commander when we enter KVK 3. Now 5553 5452 is actually not too bad, but I'm hoping that we can actually get a little bit more lucky on the daily side so that we can get Pierce expertise before our first fight in KVK 2. Or before I spend more money on this. At the end of the day, you know, it is costly for you to get daily every single day, right? So that's kind of like where I'm at in terms of Pierce. In terms of my main marsh is obviously Sun Tzu, and then I'm using Sun Tzu at YSG. And as you guys can see, yeah, I have a lot of stats here for KVK1 player. Even though I'm not like a Mega Whale or Krakens like other people are. I currently sit on 61% of total stats, with 21% of which is actually at infantry health, which I think is really, really important. I also have 8% extra march speed from infantry side, which is actually really, really good, in my opinion, as well as 4% universal march speed, which is really good for me to perform on the field when I'm actually fighting on the ball. Now, I do have expertise YSG, which I'm not going to swap over to a different commander because one, Pierce and CJ becomes completely useless as you enter KVK 3, whereas Qin Shi Huang YSG actually is probably the best march that is still out there in the game, right? So even if I do swap for Sun Tzu and Liu Che or whatever at the end of the KVK 2 and as I enter KVK 3, you know, Qin Shi Huang YSG still will be my second like best march candidate for me to actually use in KVK 3, right? So that's why I don't plan on you know, swapping away YSG, although I am not leveling up too, because YSG will never be primary for my marshes. You know, Qin Shi Huang would always be the primary commander that will be used, so I don't really need to level him up and waste that experience book at the end of the day. So yeah, that's where I'm at in terms of everything. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it in terms of what I have for you today. Hope you guys actually enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, guys. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Peace!